what people want to know is, how could this season stay afloat with Jacoby Brissett? And I think when you look at the first 6 games of the schedule, man, it's set up for success. You open up the season with Carolina, the New York Jets, the Atlanta Falcons are in there. Jacoby's got to go out there and at least win those 3 games.
I'm saying 4-2 at the least, 4-2. I think a lot of people be hating on Jacoby, saying he can't get it done, but like if they just use him like Tannehill, put him in a position where, he can't F it up too bad, he cool.
That's my thought, too. I really think that Jacoby Brissett is one of the better backup quarterbacks in the league, especially one of the better backup quarterbacks that we've seen in Cleveland in quite some time, in saying that he's very capable of going out there and winning games. Now, when I say that, he is not going to make the plays that win the game, but he's also not going to make the plays that lose the game. He's not going to take silly shots downfield into triple coverage. Instead, he's going to hit the layups. And we saw that so many times last year, Phil. I look back to that game against the Green Bay Packers. If Baker would have just hit the layups when they were there, hit the wide open receiver, just hit your check down, you win that game and you probably make the playoffs. So if Jacoby Brissett could just do that, just throw the ball to the open man and let life play out from there, he's going to be fine throughout these 6 games.
Oh, yes, for sure.
I mean, he's like statistically, if you look at Jacoby Brissett's stats, I don't have them right up in front of me, he hardly ever turns the ball over. And I think that's going to be like a fresh of breath there in its own right for Browns fans, that this guy isn't going to be a turnover machine out there.
Yeah,
and then once Deshaun gets in there, it's going to be like a whole new world. It's going to be like something that a lot of these fans have never even seen before.
I wonder, are they going to just go with a whole new offense now for these first 6 games to hide what they want to do with Deshaun?
I wonder that too. I think that's a good question. And I think a lot of the reporters have done a good job in the press conferences kind of prying at Kevin Stefanski a little bit to just find out what his thoughts are in the preseason, like how you're going to divvy up the snaps in camp. I think that's the next step, is how much do you dumb the offense down, so to speak, for Jacoby Brissett. Because when Deshaun gets in there, he's going to want to take some shots downfield.
Yeah, sure.
He could sling that thing and sling it accurately, where Jacoby really can't. So I do feel like it'll be similar, because they do have similar skill sets in the fact that they both can make all the throws and they're both very athletic. But I think Deshaun's version of the offense is going to be a lot more like electric and robust, more big plays, where Jacoby's going to be a lot safer.
Yeah, for sure. It's dink and dunk with Jacoby.
Yeah.
And they're going to open it up for Deshaun.
Is that easier, though? Like, from a defensive guy's perspective, say you were a D tackle on, Carolina, on the Jets week 2, on the Steelers week 3. Do you kind of suspect that, though? Because, we know Jacoby Brissett to be that guy, and say, or tell the defense, hey, we could prep for this guy to not take many shots downfield, kind of load the box. They're going to rely on Chubb. They're going to rely on Hunt. Does that, factor into their game plans at all? That they know
if
that
it's a backup plan, make him beat us.
Yeah.
Don't let nobody else. You got to make that person beat us. So they got to know that going into these games, Chubb and all that, they're going to be crowding the box.
Yeah.
They're going to make Jacoby get out of the pocket. They're going to make him make throws. You got to make throws.
Yeah.
So, I think it might be a good chance. They might do a lot of spread these first 6 weeks.
I was just going to say that is I thought what was absent last year, and we've talked about Kevin Stefanski a lot and, his imperfections as part of the failure that was last season. I think what was a big part that was absent last year was just some of the creativity. There was no creativity. There was little play action. They never rolled the pocket. And I think that was kind of some of the gimmicky stuff that Baker needed to get by. I think it's a similar story for Jacoby, is the more help that you can give him creatively, the better. Hopefully pick up 30 yards a game on a silly jet sweep or end around. And I think that just takes a lot of pressure off of a guy like Jacoby Brissett.
For sure. They can just run that, that zone option, because you can still have a tight end in the shotgun with the running back, or you can have 2 running backs back there with, split Njoku out wide. I
also
get me talking.
Yeah. I mean, hey, it's a podcast, bro. That's what it's for.